Welcome everybody. Today we're going to continue solving multi-step equations. So the first thing we got to look for when we're solving multi-step equations is distributive property. I don't see any parentheses in this first problem, so I know I can't distribute. The second step is to look to combine like terms. So I'm looking to see if I have any variables that are the same. Here it looks like I have an n and an n. So those are what are called like terms. I can combine them. Now if I just have an n by itself, I know I can put a 1 there. Right now I have a negative 1n. So if I have 9n minus 1n, that gives me 8n minus 4 equals 20. Now we have to get our variables on one side. Looks like I already have our variable on one side. Then undo addition or subtraction. So we're going to undo a subtraction by adding on both sides. So we get 8n equals 20 plus 4, which is 24. Divide that by 8. For our last step, to undo multiplication or division, we get n equals 3. Alright, looking over at this one, our first step is to distribute. I do see parentheses and I do see a number outside, so we can do that. So I'm going to draw a box, put 3 on the outside, and y plus 3 on top. 3 times y is 3y. 3 times 3, that's 9. So we get y plus 3y plus 9 equals 21. Now the second step is to combine like terms. So again, I'm looking for the same variables. I see a y here and a y here. Again, I can put a 1 there because it's all alone. So I can combine 1y plus 3y to get 4y. Now I have 4y plus 9 equals 21. Subtract 9. So then we get 4y equals 21 minus 9, which ends up being 12. Last thing, we gotta divide by 4. And y equals 3. Okay, moving on. This one, it looks like I have parentheses. So what we can do is distribute. Now be careful with this one because the thing outside of our parentheses is not just a 2, it's a negative 2. So that negative goes with it. So we have a negative 2, 1.3x minus 4. So a negative 2 times 1.3x will give us a negative 2.6x, and negative 2 times negative 4 gives us a positive 8. So we have 0.5 equals 4.1x minus 2.6x plus 8. Second step is to look to see if we can combine. I see an x here and an x here, so I can combine those two. 4.1 minus 2.6 is going to give us a 1.5x plus 8 equals 0.5. So now we got to undo addition or subtraction. We have addition. So we undo that by subtracting 8. What we do on one side, we have to do to the other. So those cancel out. 0.5 minus 8 gives us a negative 7.5 equals 1.5x. So Then we have 1.5 and x touching. So the opposite of that is divide 1.5. We have 7.5 divided by 1.5. Our x is negative 5. Okay, over here, I see parentheses, so I know that I can distribute. So we have 4 outside of our box. We get m plus 5. So 4 times m is 4m. 4 times 5 is 20. So now we have 3 plus 4m plus 20 equals 31. Now I'm looking for like terms. Now like terms don't always have to have variables. They could be numbers that don't have variables. So what I see is I have a 3 and I have a 20. I can combine those two. So 20 plus 3 gives us 23 equals, or sorry, not equals, plus 4m equals 31. So we're going to subtract 23 from both sides. So we get 4m equals 31 minus 23, which is 8. Last step, divide by 4. And m equals 8 divided by 4, which is 2. This one's a story problem. It says you are driving to your aunt's house that is 1,500 miles away. Including rest stops, it takes you 42 hours to get to the vacation spot. You estimate that you drive at an average of 50 miles per hour. How many hours were you not driving? Well, we know that your aunt's house is 1,500 miles away. So, what we're going to do then is we'll put that equal to, we're trying to figure out how far we're actually driving or how long we're actually driving first. So it says we're driving at an average speed of 50 miles per hour. So we don't know how many hours we're driving, but we do know that we're going 50 miles per hour. So I'm going to say 50x. So now if we divide this by 50, we get x equals 1,500 divided by 50, which gives us 30. Oh, sorry, let me just check that to make sure. Yep, x equals 30. Now x is the amount of hours. So we were driving for 30 hours. Now it says that it took us 42 hours to get to her house. So we're driving for 30, it took 42, so what that means that we're going to take 42 minus 30 to figure out how many hours we weren't driving. 2 minus 0 is 2, 4 minus 3 is 1. We were not driving for 12 hours. So maybe we stopped at a hotel and slept there for the night. So we weren't driving for 12 hours. Now the last page, we're trying to find the value of x for this first problem, this first perimeter problem. I know that the perimeter of anything is all the sides added up. So I know that this triangle is going to be x plus 4 plus 10x minus 10 plus 4x equals whatever our perimeter was. It says our perimeter is 24 feet. Now I gotta look to see if I have any like terms. So first I'm gonna look for variables. So I have an x here, and an x there. This is a 1x, this is a 10x, and that's a 4x. So I have 1 plus 10, which is 11, and 11 plus 4, which gives us 15x. Now I'm going to see if I have anything else to combine. I see that I have a 4 and a negative 10. They both don't have variables. So 4 plus negative 10, or 4 minus 10, gives us a negative 6. And that equals 24. Now I see that we have a subtraction problem, so I know that I can undo that by adding. So we cancel those out, and we get 15x equals 24 plus 6, which gives us 30. Divide by 15. X equals 30 divided by 15, which is 2. So if we wanted to, we could put in 2 for all of our x's up there. And we would end up with a perimeter of 24 feet. Alright, last problem. We have 3/5 times 5m plus 15 equals negative 12. Now I do see a number outside of my parentheses, so we could distribute, or we can make it easier on ourselves and just get rid of this fraction first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal. So the reciprocal is our flipped fraction. So instead of 3/5, it's going to be 5/3. What we do on one side, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to multiply by 5/3. So we get 5m plus 15 equals negative 12 times 5 gives us negative 60 over 1 times 3, which is 3. So it's actually 5m plus 15 equals negative 60 divided by 3, which is negative 20. Now I see an addition problem that I can undo by subtracting. So we have 5m equals negative 20 minus 15 gives us a negative 35. Divide by 5. We get m equals negative 7.